Hi, everybody. My name's Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahoo and the Torah. And we are your family, and you guys are our family. We love you guys very, very much. We thank you guys very, very much for listening, for everybody that is part of this family, and for going over these scriptures with us, going over these books, and for listening to us. And we really, really, really appreciate all of you guys. And we are the people who believe, and who we believe what scriptures say. And scriptures say, without a shadow of a doubt, that our Creator has given us a set of guidelines, and has given us a set of rules. And these rules are simply amazing rules. They are simply amazing things that when you look at them and when you read from them, that you will understand that our Creator has built an awesome design in a way of getting back to the kingdom and getting back into the garden and getting our worlds back into covenant with Him. And the kingdom path is not a grace path. Although we have been a lot of grace, although we have been given grace, and we have been given a second chance, because all of us, from the second that we put our hand in the cookie jar when we're 3 years old, we break the Torah because we steal. We all have problems. We all break this Torah. None of us are sinless. The only one who was sinless was our Messiah. And our Creator is a righteous Creator who's patient, who's slow to wrath. And so He gave us 120 years that we are able to come to a understanding of what the covenant of our Creator is. And the covenant of our Creator begins in Genesis, and it goes Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And inside of that is what you call the Torah. And the Torah, there's about 150, 160 different commands that we as a people can do today, that we can keep. And by us keeping these, we are showing obedience. We are showing loyalty to our Creator. It doesn't make us holier than thou. It doesn't make us goody two-shoes. It doesn't make us anything other than it makes us understand that we have a heavenly Father that designed us in such a way and gave us a guidebook and told us that we need to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, gentlemen, are you guys ready?
Yep.
All right, we have a couple. We're only going to go through this one chapter because one chapter is very long. But I think we're going to finish up on first day. And for anyone who's keeping Shabbat, today is a preparation day. And this preparation day is a day that is, it's the day before Shabbat. And we cook what we need to cook today. We cling what we need to cling. And we get ready so that we can go into a rest with our Creator. And so, guys, 1 second. My dogs are going a little wild here. All right. So there we go. Dogs doing what the dogs do. All right, here we go. Verse 1. After Cain, and this is chapter 20, verse 1. After Cain had gone down to the land of dark soil, and his children had multiplied therein, there was one of them whose name was Ginon, I think. Ginon. Son of Lamech, the blind who slew Cain. But as to this Ginon, Satan came into him in his childhood, and he made sundry trumpets and horns, and string instruments, cymbals and psalteries, and lyres and harps and flutes, and he played on them at all times, at every hour. And when he played on them, Satan came into him, so that from among them were heard beautiful and sweet sounds that ravaged the heart. Then he gathered companies upon companies to play on them. Sorry, that was our dog. Companies upon companies to play on them. And when they played, it pleased well the children of Cain, who inflamed themselves with sin among themselves and burnt as a fire, while Satan inflamed their hearts, one with another, and increased lust among them. Satan also taught Ginon to bring strong drink out of corn. And this Ginon used to bring together companies upon companies in drink houses, and brought them together all manner of fruits and flowers, and they drank together. Thus did Ginon multiply sin exceedingly. He also acted with pride, and taught the children of Cain to commit all manner of the grossest wickedness, which they knew not, and put them up to manifold doings, which they knew not before. Then Satan, when he saw that they yielded to Ginon, and hearkened to him in everything he told them, rejoiced greatly, increased Ginon's understanding until he took iron with it, made weapons of war. Then when they were drunk, hatred and murder increased among them. One man used violence against another to teach him evil, taking his children and defiling them before him. And when men saw they were overcome, and saw others that were not overpowered, those who were beaten came to Ginon, took refuge with him, and he made them his confederates. Then sin increased among them greatly, until a man married his own sister, or daughter, or mother, or others, or the daughters of his father's sister, so that there was no distinction of relationship. And they no longer knew what is iniquity, but did wickedly. And the earth was defiled with sin, and they angered Elohim the judge, who had created them. But Gideon gathered together companies upon companies that played on horns and all other instruments we have already mentioned, at the foot of the Kadesh mountain. And they did so in order that the children of Sheth, who were on the Kadesh mountain, should hear it. But when the children of Sheth heard the noise, they wondered, and came by companies, and stood at the top of the mountain to look down at those below. And they did thus a whole year. When at the end of that year Gideon saw that they were being won over to him little by little, Satan entered into him and taught him to make dyeing stuffs for garments of diverse patterns, making them understand how to dye crimson and purple and whatnot. And the sons of Cain, who wrought all this and shone in beauty and gorgeous apparel, gathered together at the foot of the mountain in splendor with horns and gorgeous dresses and horse races, committing all manner of abominations. Meanwhile, the children of Sheth, who were on the Kadesh mountain, prayed and praised Elohim in the place of the hosts of messengers who had fallen before Elohim had called them messengers, because he rejoiced over them greatly. All right, so this is halfway through this one, but you can kind of see the party land, right? It's a giant party down there, horse races.
All they're doing is partying, music.
Yeah, women probably like naked.
They're dyeing their clothes. I don't know why they're dyeing their clothes. I don't know what did they have before? It was just white, black.
Yeah, probably something of that sort. I don't know. But, yeah,
I guess colored clothes or something from Satan, too, which is really weird.
Well, we know the messengers. When you read the book of Enoch, the fallen angels, there was one or two in particular that had to do with really corrupting and making women having, the fluttering of the eyebrows that were painted and or eyelids and all of that kind of stuff. And made it so that they were, charmers of men and things of that nature. I don't think it was ever supposed to be something like this. 16. But after this, they no longer kept his commandment, nor held by the promise he had made to their fathers. But they relaxed from their fasting and praying, and from the counsel of Yered, their father. And they kept on gathering together on the top of the mountain, to look upon the children of Cain from morning until evening, and upon what they did, upon their beautiful dresses and ornaments. Then the children of Cain looked up from below and saw the children of Sheth standing in troops on the top of the mountain. And they called to them to come down to them. But the children of Sheth said to them from above, "We don't know the way." Then Gideon, the son of Lamech, heard them say they did not know the way. And he bethought himself how he might bring them down. And Satan appeared to him by night, saying, "There is no way for them to come down from the mountain on which they dwell. But when they come tomorrow, say to them, Come ye to the western side of the mountain. There you'll find the way of a stream of water that comes down to the foot of the mountain between two hills. Come down that way to us."
So is he not able to go up the mountain? Are the children of Cain not able to get
back? They cannot
back?
go up to the mountain. Once you come down off the mountain, you are unable to go up. Yered was the only example that we knew of that the messenger brought him back up. And so once you make that move into this kind of wickedness and go to it, there was no way to go back up to the mountain. Okay, 20. Then when it was day, Gideon blew the horns and beat the drums below the mountain, as he was wont. The children of Sheth heard it, and came as they used to do. Then Gideon said to them from down below, "Go to the western side of the mountain. There you will find the way to come down." But when the children of Sheth heard these words from him, they went back into the cave to Yered, to tell him all that they had heard. Then when Yered heard it, he was grieved, for he knew that they would transgress his counsel. After this, 100 men of the children of Sheth gathered together and said among themselves, "Come, let us go down to the children of Canaan and see what they do, and enjoy ourselves with them." But when Yered heard this of the 100 men, his very soul was moved, and his heart was grieved. He then arose with great fervor and stood in the midst of them and adjured them by the blood of Hevel the just, let not one of you go down from this holy and pure mountain, in which our fathers have ordered it to dwell. But when Yered saw that they did not receive his word, he said unto them, "O my good and innocent and holy children, know that once you go down from this holy mountain, Elohim will not allow you to return again to it." He again adjured them, saying, "I adjure you by the death of our father Aḍam, and by the blood of Hevel, of Sheth, of Enosh, of Canaan, of Mahalalel, to hearken to me, and not to go down from this holy mountain. For the moment you leave it, you will be reft of life and mercy, and you will no longer be called children of Elohim, but children of the devil." But they would not hearken to his words. Enoch, our forefather, at that time was already grown up, and in his zeal for Elohim he arose and said, "Hear me, O ye sons of Sheth, small and great. When ye transgress the commandment of our fathers and go down from this holy mountain, ye shall not come up hither again forever." But they rose up again Canuck, and would not hearken to his words, but went down from the Kodesh mountain. And when they looked at the daughters of Canaan, at their beautiful figures, and at the hands and feet dyed with color and tattooed in ornaments on their faces, the fire of sin was kindled in them. Then Satan made them look most beautiful before the sons of Sheth. And he also made the sons of Sheth appear of the fairest in the eyes of the daughters of Canaan. So the daughters of Canaan lusted after the sons of Sheth, and like ravenous beasts. And the sons of Sheth after the daughters of Canaan, until they committed abominations with them. But after that, they had thus fallen into this defilement. They returned by the way they had come, and tried to ascend the Kodesh mountain, but they could not, because the stones of that holy mountain were of fire flashing before them, by reason of which they could not go up again. And Elohim was angry with them, and repented of them, because they had come down. They had come down from glory, and had thereby lost and forsaken their own purity or innocence, and were fallen into defilement of sin. Then Elohim sent his word to Yared, saying, These thy children, whom thou didst call my children, behold, they have transgressed my commandment, and have gone down to the abode of perdition and of sin. Send a messenger to those that are left, that they may not go down and be lost. Then Yared wept before Yahuwah and asked of him mercy and forgiveness, but he wished that his soul might depart from his body rather than hear these words from Elohim about going down of his children from the Kodesh mountain. He was in anguish, right? He didn't want to be alive anymore at this point. He was brokenhearted. And like any parent that loses their kids, they are broken.
Just imagine what Elohim feels like when we break his commands. He probably wants to do the same thing to us, not let us up on the mountain.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And when we stray away and when we're unable to find our way back, he gave us a road of repentance. But some people will forever live in sin. For some people will never, ever come out of it. And, we have an entire 35,000 different religions that are contrary to what scriptures say, and they are all living in sin, as they all enjoy their pork, as they all enjoy their lascivious lifestyle, and you're right. Our Creator is probably brokenhearted. 37. But he followed Elohim's order and preached unto them not to go down from the holy mountain, and not to hold intercourse with the children of Canaan. But they heeded not his message, and would not obey his counsel. All right, everybody, that is the end of the cliffhanger from yesterday. We now see why and where they went, and we know, if you're looking at 100 men, the first round, it looked like the 100 men were the ones that went the first time, and it looks like there's a whole other set of them that are on their way out. And so, with that, guys, we hope that you guys have a wonderful preparation day. We hope that you guys are keeping Shabbat, and we love you guys very, very much.
All right.
Have a great day.